LOCKBEARD PHENOMENA number 72, Day of Mourning. It is Saturday, November 26, 2022. What's up? See, the chat's already rolling. Got Mr. Lee, Angel, Donald. Who else is here? We saw Squatching Cowboy. Squatching Cowboy just had a new video drop yesterday. If y'all guys haven't seen it, went back to Southeast Oklahoma to check on his Bigfoot trap. Mr. Lee says, Donald, I'm the daddy now. Who's your daddy? What's going on with you guys? Donald says, oh, good movie. Colin, are you talking about movies? Can't type eating cheesecake. I guess that could be a little difficult. Donald says, Mr. Lee, you got to find that movie I asked about in the email. Been trying to find the name of it for some time now. Looks like we got My Eyes is here. Welcome. Sister-in-law made you keto cheesecake. It was awful. Yeah. You really just kind of got to give up anything that tastes sweet at all. It's just, you just kind of got to. Pretty good. We were adding new trails of snowshoeing. Move a lot of logs. Mr. Lee says, fantastic intro, Lockbeard. Oh, thank you, Mr. Lee. I'd like to polish it up more sometime in the future if I ever find time. No keto for you. Hello, Donald. Cowboys mourning that last piece of cheesecake. Nikki's here. Welcome. Everybody remember to go to Nikki's live stream tomorrow night. It was Todd Standing. Was it Todd Standing? So there's Jen. Welcome. So I think probably everybody that's here saw the Most Dangerous Man on YouTube compilation last night. Good. Had to be done, you know. He's Mr. Nonsense said in his live stream that, you know, because I'd used clips, that somehow that justified reporting my videos, which he claims that he's responsible for the mass flagging, the false mass flagging, you know, that has resulted into Google accounts going down, which is why we're all on a totally new channel again tonight. But the problem is it's fair use. Mr. Nonsense hopefully is starting to realize what fair use is, you know, and hopefully he realizes is the harder he comes at people, the harder they're going to come back. And as for me, before, we take some pot shots, we might talk about you, that's one thing. We're criticizing each other. Great. But when you start taking down someone's business over disagreement on stuff, which, this is a YouTube business, may not be in profit yet, but it's YouTube business, so he's gone after a business. So I don't know what legal repercussions can come of that kind of situation. But the reality is there's bound to be some kind of legal repercussions coming his way at some point, because he's made like physical threats on YouTube, and they got kind of highlighted in last night's compilation on the Media Palace channel. I'm sure he's belly aching and trying to plan some kind of strike on Media Palace. Hope Media Palace is ready for what's coming his way. But at the end of the day, like, I'm continuing to work towards one, trying to get YouTube to restore my original account, but also now I'm demanding that they do something about Vault of Nightmares channel, which is in violation of YouTube's terms of service. I walk that line. I don't try to do what he's done. Like, he's making threats all the time, violent threats against people, and somehow he's gotten by. So, and I haven't reported him, because I'm a free speech person. Let him talk his shit. Yeah, I figured somebody would report him at some point, or YouTube would take him down, but they haven't. Now I'm actively going after his channel, because he's attacked my channel. Now his is free game. I think I'm ethically pardoned from from not doing this, right? I think I would have had it would have been a legit report before, but now I think it's really necessary as a matter of self-defense. And I mean, Vault, we could talk shit on each other till the end of time. But you crossed a fucking line. And so now I'm on your case. And no, I will not come to. He's invited people to come fight many times, right? Because he wants to fight people. The reality is this is the kind of guy, you show up, he pulls a weapon. That's what's going to happen. This guy is. People that talk like he does, they're complete pussies. If you have to talk yourself up like that, it's because you're a complete pussy. And if you showed up, he would pull a weapon. That's just the kind of guy you're looking at over there. So I'm not looking to fight people over bullshit said on YouTube. You can talk shit on me all day long, and that's great. I'll talk shit back, and we'll just laugh. But you took down my accounts. You have gone after what I looked at as potential income in the future. You attack a person's business, you cross the goddamn line. So now, I gotta address this. I gotta deal with it. So, Vault, be ready, because I personally, with the violent threats, that's clearly a violation. Your channel should be gone. So, one way or another, that's coming down. Let me see. Catch up in the chat. Chat's fine. Sketch artist. My eyes mentioned sketch artist to Jen. Yeah, people are wanting one sketch artist lately. It seems like Cowboy said he peed his pants a little bit watching it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The guy, he doesn't. Does he realize how much? Hopefully, his viewers realize how much of a joke he is once they see Media Palace's little compilation. Yeah, maybe it doesn't register. I mean, I think a lot of them watch him because they're just like him. they're the same kind of ridiculous type of people, a lot of them, but I think some of them just maybe aren't realizing. Angel says, I watched it trying to figure out how he gets away with threatening people. Maybe because people like me generally just, we don't report. He sent a bunch of people to report my channel and have it taken down. Apparently, based on what he said, at least some of the reports were based on utilizing copyrighted material or some crap. But the fact is fair use is fair use. People can take clips of your shit and make and do commentary on it. That's specifically provided for in fair use policy. So it was therefore a fraudulent flag. So once I get past the automated systems of YouTube and get to talking with actual people, they're going to see that that's what happened. And I'm going to be demanding, say, look, not only did they fraudulently flag my channel, but look at all these violent threats this guy makes. So, I think it's only justified that at this point his channel comes down. I was happy enough to not report him before, but now it's open season, Mr. Nonsense. Vault of BS says, yes, I saw it. It's all lies. I'm kind and gentle man. Is that why he was... What was he pointing his weapon at on that kitchen counter? Was he aiming at people outside the window? Is that cool? What was he aiming at? Maya says, Jen, it's not your average request video. It's the video from last night. It was disturbing. Did Jen miss the video last night? Is that what's going on? Cowboy says, how he can talk shit like that and not get canceled? I don't know. I don't know. He's clearly making violent threats against people. So I don't know how he's still on YouTube. Not enough people report his channel. Well, hopefully now enough people are fed up with him that the reports come in fast enough to... I mean, like I said, I have never reported the channel. It would have to... For me to just report a channel just out of the blue, it would have to be something like... well, illegal, having to do with children, right? And that kind of shit doesn't make it 5 seconds on YouTube typically, I don't think, but I've never seen anything that I was questioning. So, but so I haven't reported anybody until now. Vault has, he has made he's made it open season on his crap. So every time I see a threat, and if I'm mentioned or anyone's mentioned in this, well, anybody, I will report that video. And Nightmare Nation, Mr. Lee, needs to go down. Just every decent person in this community should be feeling the same way. This guy's just gone too far. He's gone too far. I mean, he's not just attacking me. He's attacking a number of you. It's just You know, I've had enough. You know, we probably could have had another live stream one of these days addressing him specifically, but I've had enough. I've had enough of his crap. I am ready to see him gone. So Jen says, my eyes, I've seen it too many channels to catch everything. Mr. Haywood's here. Hello, welcome. Mr. Lee says Lockbeard Vault says he will continue to take you down. How does that work on YouTube? Well, look, he can continue. I can keep making new accounts. And the reality is one day I will surpass Vault. Guaranteed. One day I will surpass Vault. And, you know, hopefully one of these days when I can afford, well, I don't know. Hopefully there's a lawyer out there to look at the situation and say, look, dude, we could do this, you know, pro bono. You know, get justification to sue this guy. He's, you know, made criminal threats. He's harassed you, you know, incessantly. You know, it's one thing, like when I'm talking on my channel and I mention people or talk about people, like they don't have to come over here and watch it. They can just stay off my channel and not pay. Kind of like with me in Vault. Some of you can attest. I've been getting emails about Vault here and there from some different people and getting clips and so look what he said here and stuff like and I think some of you may recall that I've said, well, I'm trying to ignore this guy. I'm just trying, you know, we did a live stream talking about him. I think we said what we needed to say. We got other stuff to talk about. And I don't want to be sucked into a long drawn out thing with this guy. He's not worth it. So, you know, so I'm not harassing him like some people try to say, oh, you're harassing it. If I talk about you on my channel, I'm not harassing you. When my channel and my account's getting taken down because of you guys doing false flagging, mass false flagging, all right, that's stepping into the world of harassment. So whoever is here, who is one of Vault's little helpers, or if Vault's watching himself, look, you've engaged in criminal threats and harassment. If I go get a lawyer, you're probably fucked. So you might want to back the fuck off. I'm not a guy that sits here and makes empty, violent threats like you do. That's not what I'm about. I'm not looking to be involved in any kind of violence with dipshits like you. I was trying to just go on about my business, but you kept coming at me. So now we are at a situation where, you know, maybe tomorrow I'll try contacting a lawyer and see what we can what the potential is here, because this is bullshit. You know, somebody needs to ream that ass. You know, because you know, and I'm sure, I don't know, maybe he wants this drama. Maybe this is bringing, I'm sure he's getting a little extra views out of this bullshit. But those views will be meaningless, Vault, if your channel goes down. And I am, that's my goal at this point. You had obvious terms of service violations this entire time, and I never reported you once, you stupid fuck. But now I am reporting you. Congratulations. Is that what the fuck you wanted? And I'm sure you're going to talk about like you're some kind of big shot with YouTube, like you did in one video that I did see. And that recent one, like they give a shit about you. Like you're some kind of big shot with YouTube. Oh, I'm a partner, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Everything about you is talking like you're some kind of big shot in something. Oh, I got 600 kills and I was involved with this and I'm a minister and everything. I've met people like you before. Compulsive, just obsessively compulsive liars. You make up one thing after another that elevates you to some kind of status that you think people are going to show respect to you. The reason why you need to do this is because you don't have any redeeming qualities that people will just respect you for to start with. So you have to make up things that you perceive as redeeming qualities to try and get some artificial respect. And all you're doing with us is we're seeing what you're doing, and I'm sure some of your followers are seeing it as time goes on. And they may have respected you at one point, and they will stop respecting you. You have created a lot of disrespect towards you, whereas you would have had, at least I respected your right to say whatever the fuck you wanted on your channel, and just left it be. I mean, I talk shit. I'll talk about you sometimes because you say some stupid fuck shit, but but I wasn't flagging your videos. I wasn't harassing you like you're doing me. So it may be time to start looking at my options here, because you done crossed the line. You can talk shit over there all you want, and I may respond from time to time. That's not harassment. You're on your channel. I'm not even going to your channel. Have I ever even said one word in your chat? If I have, it may have been so long ago I don't even remember. I don't remember ever saying one word in your chat, I don't think. Don't quote me on that. I may have, and I just don't remember. My memory's a little spotty. My eye says Vault is violent. You aren't threatening people's lives. Yeah. Haywood says it's all fun and games until somebody's face is on a milk carton. Donald says Media Palace did an excellent job. Chris Cat tried leaving a comment and saying fancy editing. She removed it after I replied to her comment. Yeah. But even like, it's funny because Media Palace put a couple of clips in that video where, like, one of them, like, he's saying some bullshit and Chris is just kind of looking down. I'd like to see Leon kind of analyze some of her nonverbal communication, because you can see it, right? She's like, God damn, this guy's fucking stupid. Vault, in case you ain't noticed, Chris Cat thinks you're fucking stupid. I can see it on her goddamn face. In fact, I bet she's probably already thinking about bailing, especially after last night, because Media Palace just, it wasn't that long either. It wasn't a very long roast. Like he said, he could go probably. I bet he could make a video like that lasts a full week, 24/7 of Vault nonsense, just stupid shit coming out of his mouth. Donald says, hi, Lakea, come on in and join the chat, sweetie. Yeah, Lakea, join the chat. Join the chat. It's funny because, I saw that, because, he mentioned that video with the Job of the Hut thing, because she called, like, you could tell she knew she called me Job of the Hut, and that shorts video was fair game. It was, Lakea. Come on. That video was fair game. And I think it was very, very restrained. I don't think I went too far with it. Angel says he claims because he's part of YouTube because he makes the money. Yeah, there's thousands of creators out there making YouTube money, but the reality is that his channel's not a big channel, and I don't think they would. I don't think they probably don't. They won't notice it if they have to delete him. Excellent private investigator. Mr. Lee says pussy. Yes, yeah. I mean, you can tell he has to talk himself up like that because he's a total pussy. Donald says he has called you and me queers, and Peta and Chris Cat is saying I'm a vulgar POS sending her kids and her what? What did you didn't say anything to her kids, do you? I wouldn't think you would, but hopefully, look, nobody don't harass these people's families. Don't harass these people. In fact, if I were you, I would advise nobody even message these people. Don't send them emails. Don't go into their chats. That's my official position on this. Don't go to their chats. Don't email them. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't do any stuff. See, that's what they are the harassers. They're coming and messing, with us, and at least with me. Apparently me big time. I don't know if they're going to try and take down some other channels or not. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to keep trying to get YouTube's attention on this matter and until it happens. If I have to walk into somebody's office physically at some point so that they have to talk to me face to face, I will. I'm not all about this whole cowardly, ridiculous false flagging in mass. Like if y'all flag him, that's great. That's your business. That's your own decision. I'm not asking anyone to do shit. I want to be clear about all this stuff. I'm not asking anyone to go flag his channel. But if you do, the violent threats are clear. He should not be allowed to do that on YouTube. I know, Mr. Lee, but it's got to be done, as legally as possible. The difference between me reporting his channels and him reporting mine is he has some serious TOS violations, and I really do not. The TOS violations that they have, used against me in the past are bullshit, right? Because we know, like with the outbreak that we supposedly had, like every day you look in the news, you're seeing more and more about how everything was bullshit. And I've been telling you guys for a long time, right? It's all BS. Well, that shit's coming down the pipeline, and YouTube, I hope YouTube has to answer for that they bought into it. Like they should just let people freely speak. Just let people freely speak, and shit will settle, and everything be fine. But they chose the route of censorship, of book burning. They chose the route of the Nazis. That's what YouTube chose. The good thing about the good thing is that my channels are backed up over on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey, so you don't have to rely on YouTube to see all my previous stuff that has been deleted here. Everything, even stuff that was deleted long time ago before Vault even knew anything about my channel, because I pissed off YouTube. Everything's over on Rumble. Go over to Rumble. Don't forget to go to Rumble. Go to Rumble, subscribe to the LOCKBEARD channel there. At some point I'll be able to live stream over there, and I may just not even bother trying to live stream to YouTube, for, at least for a while, until YouTube gets their act together, which I think it may come pretty soon. Shit's turning around on all these leftist freaks, and it's the thing, I don't Vault doesn't I don't think of Vault as being a leftist, but he sure is happy to behave like one, trying to cancel me and all this nonsense. He's behaving like a leftist. Are you a leftist, Mr. Nonsense? Are you a leftist? You seem like a far left nut job. Trying to Pine Island's here. Welcome. Captain. Beginning to think cult. Yeah, there's definitely some cultish stuff going on over there. But that's attached to, all these subjects. Like, I mean, basically you have a dogman cult. Because it's so unsupported by evidence or even decent credible accounts that you're basically believing in something that's just not even, it's just bullshit. And it's obvious to most people it's bullshit, but these people are craving something to join up in, something mystical. Maybe they love werewolves that much, I don't know, but it's a cult. And there's a Bigfoot cult out there, right? A Bigfoot cult. They want to believe certain things about Bigfoot. And some of the stuff that I've tried talking about, like what the possibilities are, it's pretty magical shit. But it's, there's a scientific explanation to it, because that's another goal of my channel, is to try to help people understand. Because there's some things that the people that are, the atheistic point of view, aren't ready to accept, right? Because to them, it's on the magical or the religious side of things. And what I'm telling you is that the religious people and the atheists are both wrong in their interpretations of reality. Everybody has their interpretation of reality, but the science that the atheist is using is wrong, and the descriptor of the religious, all religions, is pretty much wrong as far as what's going on. They don't understand any science to it, so it's just magic to them, which is fine for a religion, right? Because religion it's going off of faith, not science. Hopefully they don't reject a scientific explanation because it takes the magic out of because there is a scientific explanation, but if they're latched on to certain very specific elements of the stories, then they're going to have a problem. Like, if you insist that a certain person of a certain name did a certain thing according to your religious text, then you might have a problem with a scientific explanation, because it doesn't necessarily, those are parables, but I don't want to get into all that. But Captain has to be psychotic as he is to stick around. Yeah. A lot of thank you, Mr. Cowboy. Donald says, I've made several emails today to some people interested in imposters who claim shit like E9 with nuclear access. Yeah, that's another thing. If I haven't really paid much attention to that whole aspect of it. It'll be interesting to see if he can weasel out of the claims that he's made, which, of course, he tried to shift gears, right? He tried to shift gears because he is caught in his lie again. He was caught in his lie again. Michael says, I hope you don't have a cape and tights. Well, maybe. Donald says, imagine him with his finger on the button. Did you see when he dropped his weapon on the floor? Yeah. Sent you the link. Oh man, I'm way behind in chat, ain't I? Donald says, I sent Lockbeard my choice for quote of the day. Hopefully it uses my favorite part of Eric's premiere. I peed myself. What was in that again? Not very scientifical or whatever. Maya says, I agree with you. Lockbeard Vault has gone too far. He is dangerous. Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. Like, where I think the reality is we've talked about this guy for a long time, right? So far nothing's happened. Like, if you run across this guy at a conference or something, You know, is he going to physically attack you? You know, who knows? Is he going to try and track people down? You know, so that's if I do end up talking to the authorities about the situation, because there's been some people advise me that I should probably talk to the authorities about this guy. That's going to be a concern of mine. Like, I don't want this guy tracking me down. I'm not looking to have that kind of interaction with this guy. I was trying to ignore him for the most part, but he keeps coming at me, and now he's taking my accounts down. So, and his followers, because a lot of times he's not a big YouTuber, but with like the whole Alex Jones thing, some of his followers were fucking nuts, and they were harassing the families and all that stuff if you followed that stuff, and they should not have done that. Alex Jones did not tell them to do that. So the reality is there could be some nut jobs like that amongst Vault's viewers. So, we all I think we should all be a little bit on guard about, just how crazy are some of these fucks. And how prepared do we need to be for when one of them shows up at a conference and you happen to be there? Is it coming to a day where you need to be armed at a conference and maybe have some bodyguards? You know what I mean? Because one of these, because these kind of people, they're cowards. They're not going to wait for you to face them. So doing good, Hat Cowboy. Watch it twice. Yeah, I've watched it twice myself. Doing better money getting the Jesus shot. Ruthless is here. Welcome. How's it going? It's Ruthless. He says, "What's up, you meat suits?" Donald says they will figure out that what Vault's doing, and he will get a ban to where he can't show his face on YouTube. Prairie Fire, welcome. Mr. Lee says, I don't understand why Vault got such a beef against you. Oh, probably. I mean, did that one live stream about him. He, struck a chord. He can't handle people. Like, he probably had some people come back that were his viewers or something. And I mean, I think that people like him he probably if he's paid much attention to me at all, he probably figured out that if I ever do come by the resources to actually properly investigate these subjects, the cryptid, like I mentioned earlier to some people via Facebook, that I think that I have an idea about doing a Dogman investigation, but I don't believe Dogman's out there. And basically the goal of making this documentary would be to thoroughly and completely destroy the Dogman narrative, take it down piece by piece. Either that, or I find out something's true about it. But thus far, I haven't seen anything credible about it. Not remotely. You have to bend over backwards, take a heavy, dose of confirmation bias, and probably get high and drunk before you can accept anything about this being reasonably true. So, but that takes money. That takes time. It's money and time I don't got. And so he may he may correctly realize that I'm a serious threat if I start making money on YouTube and start getting things rolling where I can actually do some of the stuff that I want to do. I think he's afraid that if Bigfoot's actually out there and I go looking for it and I got the money that I need to be able to do it right, I may very well come back with some serious evidence, and people won't be paying attention to him. You know, I'm a threat. Any of us that are in this logical side, because we're waking people up to like, look, this is what actual proof is. What you guys are you're getting a bunch of confirmation bias. You're getting a bunch of claims from people that don't even seem credible to a normal person, with fantastical claims that aren't plausible at all. You know, we're using some slightly bigger words than they're used to hearing, and they're having to think a little bit, and they start to realize, I think one by one, we're winning them. People are figuring out that, okay, yeah, we've been sucked into a cult. We've been sucked into a load of bullshit. You know, if you're believing that Bigfoot's hopping through portals and mind speaking and all this ridiculous crap, I mean, you know, it's wishful thinking for some. They want to believe it so badly. Right? You know, it's not as exciting to believe that Bigfoot's just he's just a dude in the woods or a lady. You know, there's people in the woods, and which, you know, I consider them a people, just like the Native Americans do, which is kind of what I was, you know, there's no need to say a whole lot about what the topic is tonight, but we'll dive into it here in a little bit. We got a lot to say about Vault, and I didn't necessarily want to say this much about Vault tonight, but he's made himself he's always saying, oh, you want my attention, you got my attention. No, what's your Vault? You've been crying for my attention this whole time. I haven't been giving you enough attention. I am sorry. You know, you're over there talking about me and the tall ones and Donald and all these people constantly, and you're getting all bent out of shape. And I think what it is I haven't been giving you enough attention. I haven't even played the the clip. You know, I've been a bad father.
I'm his father. He comes to me for advices.
I'm so sorry, Vault. I've been a bad daddy. Bad daddy. Oh shit, I'm getting far behind in the chat. Ruther says the algo does as it wants now. It no longer needs tweaking since 2015. It's purely machine learning and applying rules as IT sees fit. Don says he won't quit Lockbird. He's obviously has no place dealing with scrutiny. Yeah, he can't deal with it at all. Lucky on fire. Mr. Lee says, can't imagine this is causing you much anxiety. We all have your back, dude. Well, no, he isn't. I am totally not surprised. Based on his past behavior, I'm totally not surprised by this. It isn't like I'm having to, you know, deal with him in person or anything. You know, my anxiety issues just exist. Like it's, I kind of stay holed up by myself most of the time. It's just, I've been this way for a very long time. And before anyone brings up, people are always bringing up marijuana. I tried the CBD oil stuff. I tried it 2 different brands. It didn't do shit. It seems like I'm better when I'm eating correctly, but it's hard to eat correctly when you're completely broke. That's just, so, and I haven't been eating very well lately. Yeah, he didn't have that many. They don't care. Cleus McFarland, Voltnumbers has nothing burger for YouTube. Yeah, they don't care about him. It says anyone who has to tell you how great they aren't. Exactly. That's why he does it all the time. He's constantly trying to tell people how badass he is. And that you got to flip that 180 degrees around, right? Vault, if you're watching, I know talking 180 degrees is awful scientifical for you, but the complete opposite. You talk yourself up so extremely much that it tells us to understand what we're seeing that you are an extreme pussy. Sorry, dude. Truth or thing, last 4 years only get worse. Truth or wars. Jeff says everyone needs to understand that Vault has a psychotic glitch. He simply can't back down. He invokes delusional thought to justify never backing down regardless of the risk. Yeah. Donald says him trying to remember Blackwater. Yeah. And Barry Browning having to fill in his. Yeah, Barry Browning's another one, guys. I know some of you guys, you've seen him in some of the shows and the chats. And I've identified this guy as another one of these nuts. He's a nut. He don't come here anymore, right? Because he tried to cause some bullshit over here, and I wasn't letting him. I don't have to let you cause shit on my screen, Barry. I value free speech. I'm happy to let you come, talk in the chat. But if you turn into straight up spammer, we'll probably get you the fuck out of here. And I'm not letting you on my goddamn screen to spout your bullshit. You got upset because I talked about the 168. Too fucking bad. Go talk about it. Go bitch about it to Vault. You seem to like him. And by choosing that kind of company, you've hopefully shown a lot of people that I was correct about you, that you're not one of us. You're not part of the logical side of the subject. You're one of the ridiculous people. So go over there and be with other ridiculous people. Gabo says, what made me laugh was when he said he killed his first guy before he could drive. Yeah. This guy has been having to talk himself up for a very long time. Jeff says he and his fans pour gas on his fire because they are glitched as he is, or they simply enjoy the train wreck. Yeah. I mean, it's really like if anyone is doing it on purpose, they realize this guy's nuts and they are actually feeding into it. That's not cool. Like if someone's crazy, like if you think they're crazy and you're purposely feeding into it, like that's not right. The comment that the video the other night he did that epic rant. I said, sir, this is an Arby's. After that video the other night, when he went and did that epic rant. I'm not entirely sure I'm understanding. Followers of low IQ, certified geniuses. Job of the Hut. Well, I didn't say that, but I think I could tell, like from her mannerism, that she kind of felt that. Well, I did call him Job of the Hut. Cowboy says, Mr. Lee, I have PhD, posthole digger. Smart as you. Yeah. Donald says, how many sheriff's departments hire someone who killed a person before he had a driver's license? Well, if they're corrupt, sheriff's department, because there's a lot of corrupt. I know some people want to support the police. I get it. I support good cops. Let me be clear. I support good cops who actually respect the rights of the people, who actually want to protect the innocent. But there's a lot of corrupt cops out there, and I have no respect for them. You don't take the badge and then use your power to violate the rights of the people. And so many of them have and do it. Ruth says, Mr. Lee, I know nothing. That's the difference, my English friend. Those that claim intelligence more often than not are arrogant fucktards that are a legend in their own mind. Just saying. Yeah, kind of like me. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I remain silent like a ninja. All part of their lies makes me look like a terrible person. I insulted Lakay and apologize. That's the only thing I said. Oh, is that some of the... Angel says, I only went and watched one episode just to see what he was saying about you and Donald. I do not plan on watching again. Not going to make him a dime. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I didn't want to go over there watching, even when people were telling me, well, you need to go see this. I'm like, and a lot of times I'd get like a link to the entire live stream. I'm like, well, it's 3 hours long. Is there a specific timestamp that I really need to see? And so, because I'm not watching his whole live stream ever. It's not happening. It's just, it's not happening. Mr. Lee says, ruthless. Yeah, I toot my own horn, but I'm a dumbass. Timmy Boy's here. Welcome. Well, stuff and things, man. Level up, come on.
Good news, everyone.
Let's see, where am I at in the chat here? Way too far behind, that's for sure. Ruthless says, I don't rumble, I'm a pacifist. Ha ha ha. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I made Rumble account. I will be liking all your videos. Yes, thank you, Mr. Lee. Rumble's up and coming. Like Rumble, if things go just right, Rumble might like start beating out YouTube for viewers. Maya says, no Rumble for me. I've always too much social media. I gave up Facebook. I'm in the process of getting off Twitter. YouTube is it. Well, Rumble is like the free speech version of YouTube. So, like all the facts that YouTube censors over here because they're Nazis, like about the outbreak, like you haven't been told the truth about the outbreak. Like, fraud from top to bottom. If there's issues with an election, YouTube tries to censor it. They try to censor so much stuff, and there is no censorship over on Rumble. You can say whatever the hell you want as long as it's not violating the law. So you might reconsider, because if you like a video platform, you like watching YouTube, you might want to start at least, make a Rumble account and just go over there and check it out a little bit and start getting, a little familiar, because it's a little different than YouTube, but it's still a video platform. People are going over there, right? Like, when people get banned over here, like Crowder, Louder with Crowder, it goes over there. A lot of people, they there's certain things they can't put over here, so they have to go. They got content that's only over on Rumble. There's a lot of them like the Hodge twins are over there, Sticks Hexenhammer's over there. So I definitely recommend people go check it out, and possibly preparing for Rumble to put YouTube down like the dog it is. Jake's here. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Thanks for coming. Donald says, imagine how many lifetimes it would take to do the things Vault has done in his life. Yeah, it's quite a resume. Yeah, quite a resume. Ruthless says, Jake, tell her to get me breakfast. I'll be there in a few days. You can be the manservant. Angel says, my eyes have rumbled. I have rumbled, but have not been on it for so long I can't remember my password or username. Well, you got to be able to recover it, you know. Like, I recommend, like, definitely go check, because there's stuff you cannot see on YouTube. YouTube is Nazi tube. They are book burners. They are censoring free expression because there's certain facts that they don't want you to know. I tell you, and I tend to get away with it because I speak it in enough code that it flies under their radar. But you can just say it over there. You can just say it over there on Rumble because it's free speech over there. Maya says, Lockbeard, I think non-duality is stranger than religion. Why? Why is it stranger than religion? There is no duality. Duality is like an absolutely ridiculous concept. Donald says, need to work on getting Lockbeard sub count up. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, blow it up, man. You gotta share. Go into all the freaking other social media, go on Facebook, share it to all the groups. Some of them will try to censor. They won't let you say certain things, or they won't let you post certain things. All them groups are polarized. Jake says legendary mutiny on this ship, question mark. You're in a non-duality bus too. Gotcha. Yes, man. Yeah, it's everything's one. All is one. My angel passwords are going to kill civilization. Well, kind of give you I don't know. I don't want to dive into passwords, but create your own code kind of thing. Like if your password's based on, I don't want to say too much, but if you of course, a lot of people, they just use, well, it's something that they're like, they always remember, but I need to think of like an example that some people could use that isn't specific to my code. There's things you gotta all right, well, Mr. Lee has Mr. Lee, you have like R2D2. This might be a good one. Hold on a second. So R2, yeah, R2D2. Yeah, this will work. Okay, so a lot of things that you use passwords for require, numbers, at least one number, at least one special symbol. So let's say you wanted to have you kind of a way to make passwords that were, that you could remember. So you got to set certain rules for it. So let's like something like you need something that makes a variable to it though, from site to site to site. So let's say you're wanting to use, let's say you're making your account on, you're making your password for your Facebook account and your YouTube account. Let me try and put this together and give you an example. So nobody should use this exact, and Mr. Lee should not use this exact example because it's been stated here. But R2D2 is, something you'll never forget, right? So, but you don't want to have the exact same password on both Facebook and YouTube, but you can use something pretty similar. So maybe the rule is that the first letter in the password is the first letter of the name of the site. So on Facebook, the first letter of your password is F, and maybe always make it an undercase letter. Undercase F. and then an undercase Y for your YouTube password. That's the first character of your password. So every website you go to, it's an undercase. The first letter of the password is the first letter of the name of the site that you're on. If you're on Coinbase, it's a C, right? If it's so on and so forth. The rest of the password is R2D2, but two different versions of it. You type in R2D2 without holding, just type in, so it's undercase R, 2, undercase D, 2. Then you hold the shift key and you type in R2D2 again, holding the shift key down throughout the entire password. So now you got an uppercase R and you got an @ symbol. You got an uppercase D and you got another @ symbol. So you got your number, you got your special character, you got an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, and you got the first letter. So you got a 9-character password in this example that there's no cracker that's going to crack this. There's so many characters involved that it's, I can't even venture to guess the number of possible permutations for the number of different characters that are involved. Because you got both undercase and uppercase, you got numbers, you got special characters. And so if you got that, so if that's your code, right, that's the only thing you need to remember every website you go to. And it's a very strong password based on R2D2 and the first letter of the website that you're on. But don't use that exact one. Like you just come up with a couple rules for what your password is everywhere you're at that only you know, and you will never forget your password again. You'll never forget your password again. But the problem is people try to, they do all this. They do it differently. They do it differently and they end up forgetting. Raid fridge. Play the clip. What did I do with that anyway? Worked for 1 year with a security firm in Jordan after military service. Anyone who ever works for a firm like that signs an NDA after leaving to never identify the firm by name. Yeah, I would. That's one of the things that's kind of red flag to me. If you worked for Blackwater, can you ever like brag about it on YouTube? Yeah. I wouldn't think someone who really worked for Blackwater is probably never going to brag about it on YouTube. Mr. Lee says, Vault too busy sucking on his pizza to track his peeps down. Donald says, I figured on the math on that claim, it's absolutely BS. Pine Island research. Maya says, Pine Island, he's too old to be Blackwater guy. Blackwater was formed in 1997. How does a guy his age have 20 years in Blackwater? Yeah, not possible. Yeah, Alex Jones, yeah, he's crazy. But I still say he should be reinstated because free speech on Twitter. Pine Island says those firms only employ prior military immediately upon them ending time in the service and rarely contract with them longer than 3 to 5 years. Yeah. Donald says Mr. Lee goes back to his story about telling of 400 bullets hitting the dogman. To them, innocent people that tried to not engage his bullshit. Vault was heard about Locke showing that on his show. Yeah, absolute bullshit, man. We shot it 400 times and the bullets just fell off of it. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you didn't think Dogman claims were bullshit to start with, and then you got people telling that kind of story about Dogman, and your bullshit meter still isn't going off. Real meaning in his pitiful life. Vault fired a Dogman 400 times and didn't kill it. He was a poor target acquisition skills, and he is shooting a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass in the stock. Yeah, he's crazy, man. I mean, we could talk maybe sometimes you could talk about how magic is kind of is real in a way, but not the way you're thinking, but and scientifically explainable. There's a reason why people believe in magic. It's because there's some really weird shit about about our world, about how things work that would seem like magic to people until you understand the science behind it. And it's just so much, it's going to take a while to wrap your mind around it. We talked about a lot of the stuff here, but we probably got a long way to go on that thing. Donald says, I was going to bring my other personality out and dig some more, but I need a day off from saying his outlandish claims. Give yourself a break. The clip of Arnold burns him. Been hoping Vault Team 7 was coming. I'm so prepared. Well, I hope they don't come. I'm not interested in playing violent games with these people. If anything like that happens, well, I mean, the Alex Jones case did just set a precedence, right? The things he said resulted in the families getting harassed. And so if the things that Vault says ends up with me getting harassed, which I'm already getting harassed, you guys are harassing me. You understand that this is harassment, right? So there's legal precedent that you, Vault, will be responsible if one of your followers comes looking to start shit with me. So nobody better show up. And because it's just not going to be a good thing. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, in my honesty, you are not to take weed. Not for you, man. Will cause more anxiety. Imagine if what was true. You like Barry Browning? Are you serious? I can't stand that guy. Nikki says, Barry said some awful things about me, so I've had him blocked since last year. Yeah, he's nut, man. He's like he can continue to hang out over there at Vaults. He can go just fuck all the way off. Ruthless says, so hash browns and sausages had my name on them. Some did. No one of consequence, Jake. You're not missing anything. Donald says, we don't condemn you for that, Michael Haywood. You are good people to us. Had to devour them. Ruthless, I had a fucking cat laying right here earlier. Got cat hair on me. Somebody dumped a cat out here. He's a little skinny. Probably needs a home. It's really nice. This cat can climb up your jeans on your leg, and he only sinks the claws in enough to give him traction, and he's able to do it without digging into you. He's it's like he's a nice cat. I don't know why he's out here, but I mean, he's been dumped, but there's no place for him to go inside here. So, imagine it's going to be, he's just got to fend for himself and catch mice and stuff, I guess. Jeff says if Vault was a gunfighter in the Old West, he would have died from getting kicked in the head by his horse before ever getting to the gunfight. Mr. Lee says, Nikki, Barry is a douchebag. I know he's your friend, Michael, but I stand by my opinion. Yep, douchebag. Douchebag. Let's put it to a vote. Angel says, Jeff, I couldn't blame the horse. I would imagine he would not be a kind rider. Yeah, he probably I can't when I see people using spurs, I'm like, God, how is that necessary? Why do you want to do that to the poor horse? Maya says, Donald, Monday looks windy and not so nice, so I will plan to do the hike on Tuesday. Did I show you the video with the tree almost fell on me? Windy day. It was a hoot learn my lesson. Yeah, always watch for the widow makers. So says corrupt cops look up Danny Lim, the 78-year-old that was pummeled here last week. They unstressed him after they pummeled him, leaving him with bleeding on the brain. Holy crap. Man. It's all the time, man. It's all the time. Donald says, I'm not the silent type. I'm like a thorn in a person's sides, especially when they spout out about me and my friends. Cause a weak protecting a weak. Well, Mr. Lee, I'll try. You guys stop talking for a little bit. Rilla says, I better make a tree and leave. Have a great night. Y'all, Lucky, don't stress too much, mate. Internet is a basket case. Long time. Yeah. Thank you, Ruthless. Take it easy. Jeff says, in one of his recent vids, Volt said he could walk away from making vids if he wanted. I felt like maybe that was something Kat has planted in his mind. I think she wants him to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I definitely saw some that look on her face. Like some shut the fuck up was totally on her face once or twice. Just in the clips on Media Palace's video that he made. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see it lasting long. I think maybe she latched onto him because she thought she saw some potential, but now she's realizing that potential probably isn't there. And he's also about to go down flaming because he has just chosen to make himself so many enemies so strongly. He's gone too far. He's pissed people. Like, he's got me flagging videos now for the first time ever. Like, I don't remember ever flagging a person's video before, but because he's taken down my accounts, I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to start flagging these violent threats he's making against me and many of you. So he got frustrated when he went postal in one of them clips. Yeah. My eye says Lockbeard's password is phenomena 123. Yeah, I guarantee it's not that. Like that would be a week. Like, for one, you don't want to use a password like that because if the show's name is Phenomena, you definitely don't want a name. Well, and you don't want like to spell out a word in particular most of the time anyway. The only reason I come up with that R2D2 example a while ago is because it's already letters and numbers. But even that might not be advisable. So you may not want to use R2D2. You might want to come up with something that you're going to remember, like R2D3, R2D2's retarded nephew or some shit. And then use that to construct the password in the manner that I said, or use some other rules, if you want. Like, just take some time to really think about it and construct a password generating a short set of rules, 2-3 rules that that generate a password for anything you use. But it's got to generate a password that is strong enough that no cracking program's ever going to break it, but and something that nobody's ever going to be able to guess, and you won't have to remember it or write it down. You'll just remember your rules, and you'll just know. Like, you'll have to remember certain aspects of it. So you'll have to remember R2D3. So you remember the couple of rules, and you remember the R2D3. You're good. You'll never forget a password again. Vault's password is scientifical. Yeah. Well, Vault, I'll comment on that. Like, Vault, yeah, you're not scientifical. That is why you're trying to tell people something that's not scientifical. evolution, whether people like it or not, is a very well proven science. It just is. So if your spiritual belief has thus far not allowed you to believe in it, try getting there by saying, okay, I mean, obviously evolution is a real thing. Evolutionary biology is a well-proven science. So maybe, just maybe, my God is so powerful that he can create something like evolution. That's easy for him. He can create evolution. That's no big deal. He created evolution. Call it good. Call it good. But a lot of people can't do it. Prayer Fire says from a show on Rumble. Donald says, I wonder if she's still proud of breaking up him and Lakeia. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. Haywood says, Mr. Lee, you are too. Well, I don't know. I think he is. But Mr. Maya says, Pine on the research, he can't spell that. Scientifical. Form Everything says, just checking in, Lock, so you know it's me. Thanks for dropping in, Former Everything. Mr. Lee says, Michael, you knucklehead, of course. You always thought it was really R2. Favorite clip. Maya says, Donald, I was going to ask you about that last statement, but realized I didn't care. Michael Hilton says, Mr. Lee, please tell me you're not Santa Claus. Beep, beep. Beep, beep, bop, boop. Maya says, I mean, what two women would fight over that loser? I don't know. Unless the whole Chris Cat thing is all a big fucking act. You know what if that's what's really going on? What if they like Lakeia and him plan this whole thing out? We're gonna create this whole big drama. We're gonna have a breakup. I'm gonna run off with this chick, and then we're gonna have this get together. We're gonna get back together, and the peasants shall rejoice, and we'll get so many views because of Jerry Springer America, which votes for train wreck politicians. So we're gonna capitalize on this shit. I don't know. It just all seems ridiculous to me. Former Everything says 3PO. What's up, my brother from England? Jeff says, what kind of failed relationships would a woman have to end up with Vault and say Yahtzee? Yeah. She must be at the end of her rope. She needs some. Never mind. I better not say that. Not trying to imply there's any substances involved, but there might be substances involved. Michael says Tom Cruise is Santa Claus. Don't tell anyone. What's the topic? Well, we seem to be stuck on Vault because he's been making. Well, I mean, he's false flagged 2 of my accounts down and YouTube's too automated to catch up to what's going on. I'm trying to figure out, how to get this all reversed and actually talk with real people. Real people don't like to talk to you from YouTube, but once I'm talking to a real person, I guarantee you we're going to get some shit straightened out. And I'm going to call attention to all the violent threats he's made against me. Vault of Nightmares has made against me. And I will show them the copy if they can't. I mean, surely they'll be able to find the video on his channel, because even if he deletes it, YouTube, I'm sure, is going to have a backup of it somewhere. And if they don't, I have made a copy of the video where he admitted to having people flag my account. So abusing the system for his own gain. But yeah, I was going to kind of talk a little bit about it's Thanksgiving for some, but it's a day of mourning for the Native Americans. A lot of Native Americans, not all of them, obviously don't feel that way, but a lot of them do. Greasy, ugly, no teeth, geez. Beep, bop, boop. Donald says, I don't have any scientific background, like he's quoting him, but I got a brain. Got a brain. It's funny as fuck. Yeah. No, he don't have a brain. He thinks he got a brain, but all he's got's a empty cavern up there. Donald says, oh, and that hex he put on his enemies from his ancestors, I'm still feeling top notch. Yeah, he's doing a little witchcraft over there, is he? Maya says, magic is that wooden slanted plank thingy that can hold up a wine bottle. I can't look at those things. How the hell does that work? I hate those things. Does it stress you out? I'm not making any headway at all. A little bit. Can't crack. Girlfriend will put up with that rubbish. Thought you were replacing stoplight tonight. What? Former everything says, Locky, owe me an apology. I do? How's that? Timmy Boy says, you wouldn't put her through that kind of embarrassment, Mr. Lee. Damn robot won't leave me alone. And then watching ball games. Don't let them get behind you. You're married, Mr. Lee. 26 years, common law marriage. Long time ago, it was a common law marriage. Timmy Boy says, I know the feeling, Mr. Lee. Just had to say hello. My eyes, not a big deal. Donald says, my eyes, I missed that in chat. But yeah, if the beast of Buell's gore rears its head, get the shot. You use your girlfriend's account, she don't care. Maya says, Donald, I will do my best as long as he doesn't 411 me. I'm leaving Minka at home because I don't know what to expect, and I am American, so my dog is more important than me. Donald says, Myers, he's only pissed at me. Well, maybe he won't recognize me. It's been a while. I'm trying, Mr. Lee. Definitely deny knowing you. Jen says, guessing not much of a chance getting around to the posted topic. Oh, we will a little bit. I'm trying to catch up in the chat. Talking about Bigfoot Mourning. It's kind of part of it's because a lot of people don't think of Thanksgiving this way, but the Native Americans do. Some do. Talk about the topic and it will start. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Go get some tea. Just made some. Jen said, I've never watched or have any plans. I think I'm getting caught up, ain't I? Yeah, I am. Jen says, I never watched or have any plans on watching Vault. Why give the watch time? Yeah, I wouldn't. You're out for a change topics. Hit it for Lockbeard Knucklehead, says Mr. Lee. Is CFB going to be on tonight at 8 o'clock? Probably. Mr. Lee says, Jen, I can't watch that douche nozzle either. 5 minutes tops. Yes, it's absolutely insane. But that video the other day, I went ahead and made a copy of the whole thing. And because it was an admission of guilt of abusing YouTube system by mass false flagging my account, apparently. So that admission is in my files. So you might as well just leave it up, Bolt. Don't even try hiding it. I got it. Former Everything says, because you thought I was working with Vault Shitter to cancel you and made a comment on Joe's show comment. I think it was Joe's, can't remember. I don't remember either. Well, if you're not, I apologize. Probably just to start out on the with this article kind of explains what the Native Americans thought on this is. For those who aren't aware, like people that aren't in the United States probably have no clue. Maybe not even aware we're having Thanksgiving in some of you. But the United States, has some dark history. And, not that I'm saying that people today should be held accountable for the historical events. I'm just saying we do have to recognize that some bullshit went down. And, and realize that there's racial memory. So there is some degree of the actions of people in the past affects the people of today in subtle ways that they may not be consciously aware, but it's still there. So I think we need to be conscious of this and take note of it. People, all these people, have a lot of people just only this positive idea of Thanksgiving. And they have, there's a lot of people, they just haven't given much of a thought to, well, what is the Thanksgiving mean to some of the Native Americans from whom the land was taken, who there's a few of them alive today who still remember some mistreatment from the government, because the government continues to pull their bullshit even into recent history on the reservations. So, and they've been stuck in a cycle with all kinds of social issues, social problems that have been caused by what's been done to them. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, my girlfriend did fill me in on the reason for Thanksgiving. Tin Boy says, name a place without a dark history. Indeed. And like we talked about here before, like, it ain't like the Native Americans didn't also have their own history, before the United States even became a thing, where things that they did to each other, and then things that they did to the original inhabitants of America, because there were people here before the Indians or the Native Americans that we talk about today. There were people here before, and how there were cases of atrocities apparently committed by what we call the Indians or the Native Americans today against the people that were here when the Indians arrived. Because there was a time when they weren't here and they got here. Well, when they got here, there was already people here, and it just so happens they were Caucasian people. Well, there's a lot of people that don't want you to know that. I mean, they don't want you to know that there's a whole bunch of evidence proving that there were white people in America before the Asian stock came in, that resulted in the Indians that you have today. The Indians they have today are actually about 25% genetically. If you get a pure blood Indian, they're 25% Caucasian genetically already. Because once they broke down, they were expecting, oh, these people are going to be 100% Asian. They weren't. They were 75% Asian, 25% Caucasian, because they got blended with the original Caucasian race that was here tens of thousands of years ago. I'm not talking about Vikings. That was really recent. Vikings was very recent. That wasn't long ago at all. I'm talking tens of thousands of years ago, when the original first people got here. They were people from Europe. And that's not something that a lot of people want to be known. But it's coming out slowly but surely because, there's evidence all over the place. There's a whole bunch of evidence of this. But again, that's not what I was going to talk about tonight. It's kind of shocking. I don't mean to offend anybody. Mr. Lee, at this point, I say offend everybody. Screw them. Performer says, I'm about Bigfoot. That's it. I do theories as well about government control and world order. Donald says, Mr. Lee, it's a sham brought to the lobbyists to Lincoln to boost the sale of commercial raised turkeys. Yeah. Didn't even have turkey this year. And don't really miss it at all. I don't really care for turkey very much. Confuse me further. Prayer for us says only 2% of Americans have Indian blood. Well, they sure wiped out a lot of Indians. So, Angel Nolan says, Mr. Lee, like Christmas, it boils down to who makes the money, which is not small farmers, which is not the small farmers. So let's go through this article about this here. Thanksgiving, why some push back against the holidays mythology. There you see National Day of Mourning on the banner there. The National Day of Mourning in Plymouth, Massachusetts has been marked since 1970. After Christmas, Thanksgiving is America's second favorite holiday, opinion polls suggest, but for many Native Americans and Alaska Natives, their relationship with the day is complicated and their celebrations a bit different. As many Americans prepare for a massive holiday meal, the setting sun on Thanksgiving Eve will mark the last time Kisha James eats for nearly 24 hours. She will not be in the kitchen basting a turkey, baking macaroni and cheese, or sprinkling sugar on pies either. Miss James will be in mourning. For her, the day is a painful reminder of an ugly chapter in American history, a symbol of empty promises, a story whose retelling tends to gloss over the undesirable details of colonization. It's frustrating, it's saddening, says Miss James, a member of the Wampanoag tribe who lives in Massachusetts. Some years it's angering. We don't have any issues with people sitting down with their family and giving thanks, Miss James said. What we do object to is the Thanksgiving mythology. The origin of the Thanksgiving holiday dates back to a harvest feast held in 1621 between the Wampanoag and a Native American tribe who occupied the land long before, and the newly settled English colonists in America. The gathering is widely seen as a celebration of the alliance between the two groups, but leaves out the ways in which those ties were broken. In the years after that harvest feast, foreign-born diseases arrived from Europe, killed many Native Americans. Others died during conflict with the English settlers seeking to gain control of their land. The U.S. government sought to forcibly assimilate children at over 400 government boarding schools operated between 1819 and 1969. 1 in 3 Native Americans currently lives in poverty, according to the Northwestern University's Institute for Policy Research, earning a median income of $23,000 a year. Whose land, our land? The myth, Miss James says, ignores those realities. Instead of referring to the holiday as Thanksgiving, Some, like Miss Smith, recognized the 24th of November as National Day of Mourning. It has been celebrated in Plymouth, Massachusetts every year since 1970. For those in attendance, the day begins with an opening prayer ceremony at a historic site named Coles Hill, a cemetery holding the graves of some of America's earliest settlers. I guess that's Kisha James. Afterward, there were speeches and a march to the streets where the chant, "Whose land, our land," can be heard. Across the country, each November since 1975, others meet at Alcatraz Island in San Francisco. They celebrate an event called Indigenous Peoples Thanksgiving Sunrise Gathering. Some refer to it as Un-Thanksgiving Day. Historians attribute the rise in activism for Native Americans in the 1970s to momentum driven by Black Americans during the Civil Rights Movement the decade prior. These events are meant to honor the Native Americans who occupied the land before the arrival of European settlers. They also draw awareness to what University of Arizona anthropology professor Edward Jolie calls historical traumas, like what was done to Native Americans in the wake of the Indian Removal Act, signed into law by President Andrew Jackson in 1830. During the 1830s, roughly 100,000 Native Americans were forcibly moved from the southeast region of the United States to areas west of the Mississippi. It is estimated that around 15,000 died on the journey known today as the Trail of Tears. Miss Jolie's grandmother, born in 1912, received firsthand accounts from an elderly relative who survived the Trail of Tears. Those stories of death and starvation were later passed down to Mr. Jolie, a descendant of the Ogallala, Lakota, and Hudolgi Muskogee tribes. That's something I think a lot of people overlook or don't appreciate, just how raw and very real and ever present these types of historical traumas are for a lot of Native peoples, he said. First-hand stories were told directly to Mr. Jolie, who, from the same grandmother who later shared her experiences with him about her time as a student at an American Indian boarding school. Mr. Jolie said her stories were filled with a lot of really unpleasant things. In May, the U.S. Department of Interior released a report describing the former federal boarding schools as places rampant with physical and sexual abuse, overcrowding, malnourishment, and disease. Facts which the report said were well documented. The deaths of at least 500 Native children were also documented in the report, a number expected to rise as the U.S. government continues to look into the troubled legacy of those institutions. This fraught history, Mr. Jolie said, is why the Thanksgiving holiday, for some, when only reflected upon as a happy gathering between pilgrims and Native Americans, is a painful reminder. Still, he says, it is his favorite holiday, offering the opportunity to spend time with family and enjoy dishes like green bean casserole. Mr. Jolie does, however, have a few hopes for the future that as people continue to gather, celebrate, and be thankful, they will do so with a healthy recognition of the past. So I'm sure I'm way behind in chat, but let's see. I'll catch up real quick. But lately, it seems to be in vogue to claim their ancestry. Yeah, a lot of people claim their ancestry. Like I don't know. I don't if I have to mess with my light to get to it. I could pull out my tribal card and show everybody that I actually am a member of a tribe here in Oklahoma, a tribe that was part of that Trail of Tears, but very little blood. I obviously you can tell by looking at me. There's, I don't have a lot. Well, very little officially on the card. Like, You know, because if you've ever dealt with this stuff, with the roles and people were afraid to. Some people didn't want to admit to being partially Native American. They felt they'd be stigmatized for being partially Native American. So there was a lot of that nonsense going on, and so you can't always prove your bloodline, even though you know it to be true from your genealogy. And in my case, I think we're 3 different tribes. We have 3 different tribes of ancestry. And I think we're somewhere over a 16th as far as the total is. I'm not sure exactly where it falls, but it's over a 16th. But my card says way less than a 16th because that's all that could be proven. But you're right. There's people out there trying to claim that they are in it, and maybe some of them are, and they just aren't members of tribes that couldn't prove it. But Miss Warren, was in the news for trying to be all kinds of Indian. So whatever. And of course we saw Volt trying to say he was. Maybe he is, I don't know. But I think he's only saying all that stuff because he's trying to talk himself up, and he feels like he's talking himself up. Well, yeah, I got this and I'm that, and I'm an ordained minister, and I was in Blackwater, and I'm the baddest asshole ever. Whatever, Volt. First 3 docs are great. Hope all's well with you, my friend. Mr. Lee says, girlfriend told me the Pilgrims were starving and Native Americans fed the Pilgrims, and then they were wiped. Then they wiped Americans out. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. I mean, I don't think it would be fair to say all European settlers were wiping out Indians. That's not true, but there were enough. There were enough that it was a huge atrocity in our nation's history. No, you're close enough to yeah. That's basically what happened. I mean, the article stated as much. Donald says, "Pray far. So far, the choppers haven't dropped the team in yet." My eye says, "Lockbeard, your evidence all over the place might mean no real evidence, but there could be. You need a bit more, Lockbeard. Schedule the agenda sometime. It will be fun. Schedule. Oh man, that would be one of my interests is in anthropology, and so like one of the stories this particular case I think is pretty cool because it actually it involved the Paiute tribe. The Paiute tribe tells a story about a red-headed tribe of people that they didn't like, and they got some Indians together and they went and attacked these people and started wiping them out. The story describes a straight up genocide. The Paiute tribe has that story in their lore. Of course, with a lot of the stories that the Native American lore is like, well, did this really happen? I mean, some of them talk about the world's on the back of a turtle, for fuck's sake. Sometimes the stories are true, though. And so, of course, people, I'm sure when they heard that story, they're like, redheaded tribe. There weren't no redheaded people in America. Yes, there were. Yes, there were. And so, I can't remember what it was like in the early 1900s, I think. There were guano miners in this cave in that area, and they found because let me go back to the Paiute story. I didn't tell the important part. The important part is they said that the very last of this tribe they were wiping out fled into a cave and hidden there and wouldn't come out. I mean, you were being wiped out. You're probably not going to come out of the damn cave. So they lit a fire. The Indians lit a fire in front of the cave and suffocated those people in the cave. Okay, that's the story. So what happened was in what these guano miners, they were mining guano out of this cave, and they found ancient bodies, skeletons, mummified, somewhat mummified, Caucasian skeletons, 9,000-year-old Caucasian skeletons. And they had artifacts that correlate with artifacts that you would attribute to those that you would see in Europe at the time. So that's just one case. You could look into the Kennewick Man case. Now they'll try and claim, well, it looks like this other type of the Ainu people, or I think they try to say on that one. They try to come up with some excuse of why they're trying to say, oh, it's not Caucasian. It was a Caucasian skeleton. And the tribal government tried to do what they could to take possession of it so they could hide it, right? Because they were trying to misuse NAGPRA. I've talked a little bit about that before, but maybe we should talk more about it in the future. But anyway, they lost the court battle because it wasn't an Indian skeleton. This was a white man, a skeleton over 9,000 years old. And then it goes on and on. There's other lines of evidence, like the 25% Caucasian blood in supposedly pure blood Indians, that they've been able to determine that the Indians are not of pure Asian stock. They're a blend of European and Asian. They were from the very beginning. So you got genetic evidence there. There's some linguistic evidence as well. So there's a mountain of it. It's just a proven fact. I don't know why people are scared of the truth. Some people are. I know the Indian tribes don't want the governments, because the average Indian citizen doesn't know this shit unless they've dug into some stuff like I have. But the tribal governments do, and they want to hide this, because if the American people become aware that this whole bullshit story about them being first has been disproven, then they might not be so eager to pay tax dollars to fund the tribes and all this stuff. Especially now that the tribes got a lot of casino profits and stuff like that, the people might turn and say, look, yeah, we don't want to pay for that. I don't know if they will, but they might. I don't think it really matters too much, because that's ancient history. The Indians that were here when we got here were not the ones that did that stuff, that committed those genocides, and they were just here living their lives, and we showed up and started fucking killing them. So I say our ancestors did. But secure the perimeter. Don't think you're wrong, just burdened with facts. Mr. Lee says, I can research for myself, but your land's history is vast, I'm sure you mean. Former says, all tribes would fight to the death for land, and more natives kill each other before the white man got here. I mean, that's true. That's absolutely true. I mean, I just think we need to acknowledge the whole, everything that happened, the end result is I don't think anybody today owes anybody shit, because I wasn't there, you weren't there, nobody here today was there. There are some old people who might be connected to some of this stuff that, back in 1960s, who might still have memory of some bullshit, but it's a historical thing. But I think we need to look and say, what does our government's responsibility? What's our government's responsibility as far as treaties, like if our government's supposed to represent us and make treaties, and if we make a treaty, that's our honor is at stake here. Well, they violated the treaties they made with the Native Americans, and personally, as a U.S. citizen, I want our treaties to be honored, and our government failed to do that. So I do think we need to address that matter, but aren't familiar either. Yeah, they aren't. They don't teach real history in our schools. Yeah, they don't really. Maya says, Angel, really need to teach civics again. People don't know how our government works based on the Constitution. It's important people understand this. Yeah, they don't know shit. I do have Cherokee blood, but I'm not a member of the Cherokee tribe. I have Cherokee, Chickasaw, and Choctaw, and I'm a member of the Choctaw tribe. Trail Tears, all research. Yeah, that's a bad deal, Mr. Lee. Bad deal. Angel says, my eyes, they don't want that. People would be asking too many questions. Donald says, I think that it needs a new name myself. That's why it says Happy Turkey Day. It needs another reason for friends and families together. I mean, well, like the lady in the article said, I don't think there's a problem with people gathering. It's just, the sanitized history that a lot of people aren't aware. They don't know enough about what really happened and just how brutal things were. Prairie Fire says there's no smallpox in blankets either. That was myth. Mr. Lee says, can I ask what are you Thanksgiving for from a dumb Englishman? I don't know, Mr. Lee. Maya says, Angel, people don't understand separation of powers at all. It's too bad because our founders showed great genius in this. It is a great safety mechanism for tyrants. Yeah, I get tired of people using the word democracy. The United States is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. But I think Democrats operate off word recognition, so they don't like the word republic because it's part of the word Republicans. But they like the word democracy because it's part of the word Democrat, it's the same root. So I don't know. Somehow we gotten used to people referring to us as a democracy, and we are not. A democracy would be absolutely insane, crazy, and stupid. Good source, not. You can do better than that. Well, I just grabbed one. The facts are still there. Angel says, in my eyes, we learned about it in depth in school today. A quick, watered down version, if that. They have civics. Here, which story? Education system needs to go back to teaching true history and civics. Mr. Lee's a redheaded Viking. Redheaded giants made. Did the decoys redheaded giants made? Pretty cool. Maya says, Angel, I agree about civics, but aren't sure what you mean about true history. Our schools teaching a false history. Haven't heard this. Well, like where I'm at, Mr. Lee, the nation of Oklahoma. People need to understand a state is a nation, and we're part of a union called the United States. Our nation is not the United States, just like the European Union is not the nation of the peoples there. Your nations are, France, Germany, and so on. But people in America have been brainwashed over time to think of their nation as the United States. No, the United States is a corrupt union government that needs to fucking go. and my nation is Oklahoma. Well, in Oklahoma, you can't. Casinos are illegal, except the Indian tribes, the Native American tribes, can't have casinos. It's very racist. Far as locked Bigfoot sightings are the same. Stories like Bigfoot sightings are the same. Angel says my eyes watered down versions, not to if anybody's social studies now. I don't remember where I first. I don't know. Well, I'm not. You talking about the redheaded giant story? I can't remember where I first read it. It's out there. Prairie Fire says the Plains Indians were incredibly violent. Former everything says 9,000 years old. Science is so bullshit. No, science is not bullshit. Mr. Lee says I'm hearing is about casinos. You building casino on Native American land? The Indians do. I have a problem with them doing it. I don't like casinos, but that's just a reality in Oklahoma. Mr. Lee. Donald says Lockbeard just got an email from a person I emailed this morning. He's busy on other cases, but we'll be on it. He said, "Give me more." Awesome. Mai says, Angel, oh well, think it's important to consider people are a product of their times. I don't agree with making founding fathers villains because of the traditions of their times. Former says, our government broke everything they signed. Yeah, they did. My says, is that what you mean? I mean, we are not responsible for times before us. We are here to perfect our union. It's not perfect now either. Angel says, my eyes, I don't either, but the history my daughter learned, graduated 2017, is nothing like what I learned. Former says, this country is terminal, stage 4, it's over. Prairie Fire says, all nations are headed that way, Former. So the question on the thumbnail was, I think Bigfoot mourns the invasion. I certainly think that they would be mourning. They would feel bad, very badly. They see this invasion. Their land has been taken over. There's roads crossing everywhere. The land is being poisoned. The water is being poisoned, and I think that they are certainly not happy with the invasion of all these humans. Of course, we can't really know how long Sasquatch has been here. It's possible they were here long before the first of our kind of human came along. Or maybe they came later, I don't know. But they certainly seem very well adapted to living in the wild and able to stay well hidden enough that they may very well have been here long before us. And just as, again, but like I've said before, I think Sasquatch is Homo sapiens. I think they're a race of humans, not a separate species, not a separate type of hominid. I think they are human, but just a separate race. And as such, they're going to have intellect on par with ours, or at least very close. And they're going to have the same feelings about being intruded upon as we would. So, yeah, I think that they are not happy with what's happened here. With the invasion of humans, we're everywhere. People think, oh, well, there's plenty of room, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. In any ecosystem, there's a certain number of creatures that are designed to be part of that ecosystem. And if there gets to be too many of those creatures in that ecosystem, then things get out of balance and it creates problems. And nature has to correct things. The the predator or the disease of the overpopulated creature will have population explosions of their own in order to correct it. And then the species that became overpopulated to start with will be reduced to critically low numbers, or possibly even go extinct, because the diseases of it proliferated so much and the predators of it proliferated so much in response to the overpopulation of the first species that started the whole chain reaction. That's just talking about an ecosystem where there's an imbalance with a species that was evolved to be part of the ecosystem. In the case of America, humans are not evolved to be part of this ecosystem at all. We don't have, we don't belong in this ecosystem, not one of us. So I feel like we should always walk very lightly when we're a guest of this ecosystem. We should walk very, very lightly. I'm not saying we shouldn't have the right to be here, but don't freaking destroy everything. Don't overpopulate the shit out of it. If you're going to be here, keep your numbers kind of low. Don't increase it to 300 million people like we have, well over that in the United States now. There's too many damn people here. And if people won't accept that reason for why I think there's too many people here, then maybe they'll accept this reason. I don't want there to be this many people here. There's too many damn people here. I can't wander around in the woods and not run into a fence or a road within 10 minutes hardly. There's very few places where you can go and just go for days or weeks and just walk straight, walk due west or something, and not run into something where humans have affected the natural landscape. There's a road, there's a power lines coming through, there's a pipeline, there's a fence, there's a structure, a house or something. Very little true wilderness left. And there's just too many damn people. I feel crowded. So I don't know. I think the question goes without answering, no. Even if you don't think Sasquatch is Homo sapiens like I do, you certainly think they're intelligent enough to see that their land is getting taken over little by little, and they're running out of space. Because you remember, used to, all this space was theirs. All this space was theirs. So yeah, they are running out of space because we've been taking their space continuously since we got here. This is their land, and we are the invaders. And so yeah, I don't think they're happy at all about us being here. And the fact that they aren't just murdering people out in the woods all the time is very gracious of them, really. Because if they were attacking us on a regular basis, I think they totally have a right to defend their territory. We are the invaders. So he says, very complicated, all this. I will have to research further. I'm sure Lockbeard would find my land complicated too. Oh yeah, it's been wild over there. Conquered over and over, and all the mass conversions from one religion to another, new cultures coming in, the Romans, all that bullshit. Follow the money. Yeah, follow the money. Donald says, Michelin, your known history goes back further than us. It's a train wreck there also. Yeah, total cluster. Prairie Fire says it'll lead to those we are not allowed to criticize. The money will, yes. Yes. Yeah, you figure out who are you not allowed to criticize, and you'll know who your true Nazis are. Just think about that. If you're not allowed to criticize a particular group of people, you know who your true Nazis are. If you're called, and they project, if you are called a Nazi because you criticized the wrong people, you might want to ask what's the deal, what's going on there. Mr. Lee says, prayer fire, and Donald, I know that much. Former Everything says, what? Alan Watt, not Alan Watts, but he passed, but he's worked on YouTube into the Matrix. Donald says, okay, Lockbeard, Matt isn't live that often. I'll catch the rest later. Thank you. All right, Donald. Well, we'll cut out here in a second. Hit that like sub, people, please. It doesn't cost a dime. Lockbeard would not lie. Too many people. Too many people. Too many people. Former things. Watch Alan Watt, not Alan Watts. I already read that, didn't I? I think. Icon made it just at the end. Welcome to the chat, Icon. Mr. Lee says, Angel, I don't blame you. It's all concrete and no trees. Moving to stream strain. I'm moving to there is a steam train that goes by my house. Out my door. Let me see. Since I just started another account, I haven't subscribed to everyone yet. I think I got Central Florida. All right, y'all.
You would do exactly what you did because I.
So yeah, they're already going over there on Central Florida Bigfoot, y'all. So I'm gonna head over there. Thank you all for coming. It's all by design, folks. Is prayer fire. And
be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Mitchell says, Angel, I would love that. You're luckiest than you know. Cities are just a start. Signed up to the link you sent, says Icon. Awesome. Freaking bots. Mr. Lee says, Icon, I'm on the move, man. Did I get any? I did not get any moderators added. I'll get Mr. Lee on there anyway. I don't see the bot on YouTube though. See you later, former everything. Did Mr. Lee? Because I don't see it at all. It was not here, and I had not made Mr. Lee a mod yet. Huh. Icon says, looking forward to hearing about your new digs. Okay, I see the bot here still. I don't see it on YouTube. Well, fine then. Well, let's Mr. Lee says he sees it. I got you made into a mod, Mr. Lee. I'll worry about more later. All right, y'all. I'll see you over at Matt's show on Central Florida Bigfoot in a few minutes. Thanks for coming.